What it do, 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 what it do. I go by the name of BRWE representing this self-made hustle TV where the hustle has to be in you, not on you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Ito ganti why. Ito ganti why. Ito ganti why.
Let me get one more in. One more for the old school.
It's a new day. You know what I'm saying? A new day brings a new problem to a brother. And all I got to say is thank God for my mother. Cause without my mommy, yeah, my life would have been a joke. Either locked up, laying dead, or still slanging dope. But nope, the Lord, he had a plan for me. And with his help, my mother made a man of me. Didn't blindfold me to the world we was living in. Taught me how to save my little dividends so when I graduated, I'd have a little school money. But in the sixth grade, I wanted to be the school dummy. And flunked out of school with the flagpole. And left my mother dear at home with a sad soul. Because my mother worked the fingers to the bone. Cause we was alone. And me, I brought an F home. My real pops, he broke out with the style. So I respect my stepdad for raising another nigga's child. So now we living comfortable. Taught me the game and how to be responsible. But back then I couldn't see it. I wanted to be a grown man at 14, so the kids leaving and ended up in a big fight and told me not to come home until I got my shit right. So now I'm living at my grandma's home. My grandma's strong. She's got 9 kids of her own. And keeping me ain't no big deal. But now that I'm much older, I see just how the shit feels. Being kind-hearted, not wanting to tell me no. Even though my grandfather just had a stroke. And now the money's low. And pretty soon, a brother's gonna have to go. Or either try to find a job so I can help out. I'm in the ghetto, I got to get myself out. And when I get out, I gotta try to pave the way so my family can have a better place to stay. I'm losing all hope. My brother's falling short. I can't cope. So now I'm slanging dope. And now my granny knows I'm doing wrong. She just praying for me heavily. Take care of her grandson. And the Lord must have heard her prayer. Cause he made me get a grip and got me on up out of there. I heard my mother say them streets is gonna kill you. You couldn't have told me nothing back then. And now I feel
Man, now I feel you. Yeah,
you.
I definitely feel it.
Now I'm 22 and finally got a grip on life. It's 1993. I put away my pocket knife and got a bigger stick to fight with. I'm young and black, so my choice ain't a nice pick. Because we living in a concentration set, and every day we face to face with death. I've seen my homies go and come. And judgment day is just something we can't run from. So I know my number's coming up. So I gotta protect myself from suckers who be running up. And even though I hate killing off my own kind, I gotta be a man. And as a man, I'ma defend mine. My brother Corn is trying to keep the neighborhood at peace. Don't fight each other. We got to stand and fight the beast. So united we stand, but we gon' fall quick. Because we always trying to take another brother's shit. And the cops is in the same boat. Just because we coming up quick, they think we slang dope. They shooting to kill, they gas ain't sparking dud. They shot my longtime partner Rudy in cold blood. And now the story's all twisted up. And if they gave the cop the chip, I really wouldn't give a fuck. Because you left my partner's family with memories. And after hearing this, I know you don't remember me. But yet and still, I find it hard for me to stay in touch. I see his parents, and then I start to breaking up. Because I know what you did was wrong. But you won't realize until you dead and gone. It ain't no justifiable homicide. You never gave a warning. You straight up shot him from behind. But all the crying in the world ain't gonna bring him back. You give a cat to a black, he don't know how to act. But you gotta tell your story to the judge, not the imitation judge, the judge that everybody loves. And if the man upstairs grants you forgiveness, then in reality you took care of your business. But regardless, I know you wanna kill me, but I ain't going out like that.
I know you feel me. I know you feel me. I know you feel me. Happy Sunday, man. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, man. Now, it's also Memorial Day weekend too. Y'all, salute to everybody, man. Y'all don't think that is weird? I'm just speaking, y'all. Y'all don't think that it's weird. That it's weird. That it's weird that the last time Trump just got assassinated, it's been less than a month probably. I guess allegedly, if that's what you call that shit. If that's what you call it. But the dude was mixed with black, you know. He was mixed with black, you know. You could tell he was a mixed guy. He was mixed with black. They had to throw us in there. But what about this time right here though? They made sure that he was black. This shit right here, y'all gotta watch this shit. This shit this just crazy. I don't know what's going on in America. I just know every week is something new. When they got this boy back then, as soon as they get Trump back then, something new come up, man, to where they just got to focus on something else, man. This shit's sick, dog. Like you can't make this type of shit up, boo. All right, I need to.
In on the security situation at the White House, but this is what happened around 6 o'clock this evening. I'm told that a gunman came up.
Let me get y'all right real fast, man. My bad. But when I have this shit together, man, I ain't plan on running no live like this. I still gotta go cook and shit. Really go to the store, really. We gonna get on this real fast, man. This is sick. This right here is sick, y'all. Sick. Oh, man.
Near the White House on the west side, what is described to me as Gate 17. This is kind of near 14th Street on the west side of the White House, and came up and brandished some sort of a pistol. We don't know what type of pistol it was, but he then fired toward the White House 3 times. And the United States Secret Service, they returned fire. We don't know how many shots that they got off, and they apparently took the gunman down. Now, sometime in this gunfire exchange, a civilian on the street was struck by this gunfire, and we do not know the condition of that person right now. But the important thing to know is that the gunman who came up with the pistol and was taken down by the Secret Service, and we don't know his condition right now, but he never got inside the perimeter of the White House. And this is according to a senior administration official with direct knowledge of what went down at the White House this afternoon. This was right around 6 o'clock Eastern time.
So, Chad, so if I'm hearing what you say correctly, this was somebody who was just firing in the direction of the White House?
It was something that the Secret Service obviously perceived as a threat. Obviously, we're told that that gunfire apparently was directed toward the White House. If you get toward the west side of the White House, and we're trying to figure out precisely where this was, you have the old executive office building, now called the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, which is kind of a big complex if you're working from west to east toward the White House. So we know that he was firing in the direction of the White House, and this is the preliminary report from someone who's very
Say he
senior.
was firing in the direction of the White House. Man, this is crazy.
There was one source that had,
Why he gotta be black?
Earlier, before we had this information, there's a lot of motorcyclists in town for the Memorial Day events. They always come for this time, and people thought it might have been, motorcycles backfiring or something like that. There's quite a cacophony of that. But this is clearly someone who came up and was firing at the direction of the White House. And the president, of course, is at the White House today.
Hey, Chad, Kevin here. If I could just get you to break down again.
This is sick.
Based
Can't
on
make
what you
this shit up,
heard,
y'all.
This person was taken down. Does that mean they have been neutralized?
Man,
Do you
someone
think
set
they
this
were,
shit up.
they
Why he gotta be
physical
black?
contact with this
Ain't no
person?
way he gonna get through there.
I was told that they were shot because the Secret Service returned fire against this individual.
Gotcha. And have you heard from any cabinet secretaries or any other high-level officials about what's happening?
Shit.
Yeah, this is all we've got right now. It's Memorial Day weekend. People are spread to the four winds, and the reason I, always jump in on this is that, when I used to cover local government, and the best stories about the county sheriff's department would come out through the county commissioners and vice versa. So when you cover Congress and something's happening in the administration, a lot of times you check in there. But I was also checking to make sure there wasn't some sort of a threat at the Capitol as well, and this led me down this road here. Now, again, to reiterate to our audience, this is what we have at this point. This is very preliminary and fragmentary. So around 6 o'clock Eastern time this afternoon, you had a gunman who came up near what is known at the Capitol as Gate 17. This is the outer perimeter around the White House. It's a rainy day in Washington. I was downtown today. Not as many people in downtown Washington as you would typically have on a Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, this crazy.
All the weather. Very
It's crazy. They set this shit up.
And he brandished a pistol and started to fire in the direction of the White House. And he got off at least 3 shots, we're told. And the United States Secret Service returned fire,
Shit
took him
crazy.
down, and there was a civilian somewhere on the street who was struck by this gunfire. We don't know by whose gunfire right now. But again, to emphasize here, he never got in the general perimeter inside the White House. And when you're looking at the orientation here, you can see, and there's this ambulance in the video going by here. The Eisenhower Executive Office Building is just up the street from that. So this happened kind of down, I would estimate, from the southwest corner of where that was at this stage.
Hey, Chad, it's Alicia Cunha here. You mentioned that you covered local politics and law enforcement there. So I'm curious, when we saw the shooting of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, there was an immediate coming to the cameras by not only the president, but also by members of law enforcement. This is a different situation here. What do you anticipate in terms of communication by law enforcement as the evening goes on? Are we going to hear from anyone?
It's like the 8th attempt. We ain't never seen nobody try to get assassinated this many times, bro.
But since the Secret Service did, in fact,
Bro, we never seen nobody get done this many times.
Format, be that on X or social media or something else. I would be, expect that the, DC police might be involved. Did they know something about this suspect, or was there some, behavior observed? There's a lot of cameras around the White House, and so they might be able to track this person's movement. You also have the police that work with the transit authority in Washington D.C. Did he come out of the subway somewhere? The metro? Is there something like that? So these are the types of things that they will go back to start to evaluate. But primarily, I would presume that this is a Secret Service issue, but also just the fact that it's at the White House. And let me give you some context here. What this immediately reminded me of was that you had a gunman who came up to the White House, and this is where history is often our guide, in October of 1994. Again, Saturday afternoon, it was a nicer day, I remember that, and came up, and he was on the other side, in Lafayette Park, the side that you always see, kind of the beauty shot of the White House from that side, and was shooting in that direction. And
They always trying to compare something to something.
of the White House than where the press room is. Now, this is a different situation. Again, this was somebody who had come up there.
It's definitely his own people, man. They scared to telling me messing up, so
And the White House,
they scared to telling me messing up, so they just want to unalive his ass.
Chad, Tom Shalhoub. So we were looking at social media when this first came out. We heard 30 shots fired. You mentioned it sounds like about 3 shots max from the shooter, and we're assuming the rest of those shots came from Secret Service. In your experience, how many guns are right there available? If a shooter opens fire at the White House, is there many, many guns that are able to be trained on them?
Absolutely. I mean, you have snipers. You have people all over.
So what he thought he was finna do with a handgun, man? Like what he thought he was finna do?
I walk into the Capitol every day, and I probably pass anywhere just on a routine day 10 to 15 officers, and they're all armed, and these aren't even the heavily armed officers. The White House is fortified in a different way, so yeah, I mean, that's where you might get up in that number until, as according to my source, that this suspect was taken down pretty quickly. And again, as I say, there are other police forces in that area of Washington D.C. The Metro Transit Police, Washington D.C. Police, Capitol Police are not very far. George Washington University Police. You might
That's
have
crazy.
something that's just off the White House grounds. A convergent park police.
It's crazy.
Services not
It's
very
crazy.
far. The National Mall. You might have a lot of people jumping into this, depending on what the requests might be or what officers see and hear.
And Chad, this also, for me, harkens back to, again, not too long ago when we had somebody show up at Mar-a-Lago, perhaps in a similar fashion to this. You mentioned the security presence and posture around the White House. One would expect it would be one of the most secure areas in the world, certainly in the country. So if somebody was in the vicinity and they're just shooting off, they had to have understood that they weren't going to get that close to the White House.
Not
For
at all.
someone to do that and just shoot in the general direction, they had to have known that there would be a response pretty quickly. This couldn't have been somebody who thought they were getting the element of surprise here. It doesn't sound like someone very strategic.
Well, that's where I talked about what happened in 1994. This person just opened up fire on the White House on the other side. That was a completely different situation. I mean, you have had incidents down the White House where the threat has not been for the facility itself or the president of the United States himself, where you've had local crime in Washington, D.C. You might remember when President Obama was in office, and it took them quite a while to figure this out. There had been what was alleged.
Yeah, they try to upgrade the systems and all types of bullshit.
By gangs downtown, and I remember the Secret Service director testified that said, well, we don't know what it was, and they found out later that there had been, and this was found by a White House housekeeper, that there was a window that was broken at the White House in the Obama residence portion of the building. And I remember our colleague Trey Gowdy at the time, he was congressman from South Carolina, and he was on the oversight committee when they had the hearing. She said, well, it was hard to see and everything, and he famously said in that hearing, can you hear at night? Meaning that it doesn't matter whether or not there was a direct threat toward the president, and they divined later that they were trying to shoot at the White House and were trying to attack the president of the United States in the case of Barack Obama, and they just kind of dismissed this as, casual gunfire in the area, as much as one can dismiss Chicago gunfire in downtown Washington, D.C. near the White House. And people said, we don't care what it was. This is near the White House. There should be a better response. And certainly in this case, if there was a threat or even if it wasn't, we don't know the motives of the suspect here, they certainly were able to neutralize him quickly. And that was not the case when you had this threat with the Obamas and one of the windows was actually broken then. And it took them weeks, nay, months to figure out that this was actually an attempt to kill the President of the United States.
If you are just joining us, you are looking at live pictures just outside the White House. It is on lockdown. This is very likely 17th Street, which is on the western side of the White House. You see Secret Service activity right there. Reports of gunfire. In fact, there are some reports online. We've seen video of some of the people who were actually reporting at the time of the gunfire. We are being joined by our chief congressional correspondent, Chad Pergram. Chad, if you would recap for the folks who are just joining us, what you know and what might be happening even now as we continue to watch these pictures.
Right, and the first thing that we've gotten in here from the Secret Service, you were asking me a few minutes ago about, who might put something out, that the Secret Service just a bit ago put out a statement saying, quote, we are aware of reports of shots fired near 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, and we are working to corroborate the information with personnel on the ground. Additional information will be provided as it becomes available. So to the viewers just tuning in right now, what we have here, around 6 o'clock Eastern time, there was, you could hear people who were on the ground there. I wasn't there, but there was a report of gunfire near the White House. And I jumped in here because sometimes, when there's a threat at the White House or the executive branch, maybe there's something going on at the Capitol. So I started to dial in with sources there. We're told that this was on the west side of the White House grounds. Again, you have the White House, and you also have the outer perimeter there, Gate 17, as it was described to me, near the Eisenhower Executive Office building. Somebody came up and brandished some sort of a pistol. I'm told that it was a pistol, in fact, not a long gun or a rifle or anything like that. And the alleged gunman got off at least 3 shots. And the United States Secret Service, who obviously prowl that area, some things might not be obvious to people walking by, but certainly to the people, guarding the perimeter. They responded to this. They're trained to respond to that gunfire. And I'm told, and this was the quote that was given to me, that they took the suspect down. Quote, they took him down. So this is a male suspect. I'm also told that somewhere in this process that a civilian was struck. We don't know.
Kobe say he fries some bacon, egg, and cheese tacos. Man, I gotta go to the grocery store. Shit.
Ballistics evidence of this, and we don't know the condition of the gunman or the suspect. But the important thing here is that the President of the United States...
They trying to take your boy out, man.
The alleged gunman never got inside the White House perimeter.
Chad, it's Alicia again. As we're watching some of these videos pop up on social media, it's hard not to be hit with watching people do live shots and then get interrupted and duck from gunfire. There was another reporter I saw. She said she was recording, and then the look on her face when she ducked. I don't know if you were at that White House Correspondents' Dinner that night, but all of us, so many of us will never forget watching all of those people, all of these reporters. It's starting to feel a little dangerous just to be out.
I told y'all.
Be in the proximity.
I told y'all don't feel messed up that y'all can't go to work without worried about something happening to y'all. Y'all should feel some type of way, and it's not because of y'all. It's because of your homeboy.
It's just not the White House. It's those of us, who report on the Capitol.
I told you that. If I had to go to work and somebody shooting at me every time I go to work, man, I'm not going.
You had a guy come up just a few weeks after January 6th in April of 2021 and rammed the North Barricade of the Capitol and severely injured one officer. And the baseball practice shooting that nearly killed Steve Scalise and wounded several other people happened blocks from my house in Alexandria, Virginia. I was there pretty quickly. This happens over and over and over again in different formats, whether you were at the White House or whether you were at the Capitol. In fact, I called a White House reporter, somebody who's a friend. I don't know them unbelievably well. The day after the Correspondents' Dinner, I was not there, and I had indicated, I said, hey, I've been through this, a couple of times myself. How you doing? And so this is something that is starting to be a common denominator among those of us who cover these installations in Washington, D.C. and also in that would be at the Capitol, the White House.
Mm.
I wrote an essay some years ago that was on our website where I characterized some of what we do. We're kind of like war correspondents, frankly. We don't go to the Middle East or Asia or something like that, but here on Capitol Hill or covering a baseball practice for the Republican baseball team or whatever, these things happen, and it's terribly rattling to have this happen over and over and over again. And I think that the
Come on now,
question here again, we don't know the motives
Come
of
on,
this
man.
gunman here, but was asked by Peter Ducey the night of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He said to President Trump, "Why does this continue to happen to you? Why do you think that happens?" There have been multiple attempts on the president's life. Again, we don't know what was happening here. But again, letting history be our guide, we know what happened at the White House in 1994. That was during the Clinton administration that I talked about a few minutes ago. We know what happened, that there was, shots fired into the residence of the White House when President Obama was in office. So we've had these types of things happen. It's just part of, it's very reflective of the society in which we live right now and where we are with our government and history.
Well, and Chad, we know President Trump has been so dedicated to making DC a safer place, just in all respects, so that people can enjoy being out and about in DC. Obviously, this could be something very different, but it all goes hand in hand in terms of safety. Social media, unfortunately, when something like this happens, social
Yeah, there
media
you
goes
go.
wild. There's a lot of speculation, people trying to be first to report things, and oftentimes it's untrue. We're seeing a lot on social media that there were 20 to 30 shots fired. I believe Kevin mentioned that earlier. From your sources, your
What?
official sources, it doesn't sound like your sources are saying there were that many shots fired. Can you clarify for our audience
Hell
that might also be
nah.
looking on social
20
media?
or 30
Yeah,
shots?
they don't know how many shots. Now, we said that people had thought they had heard 20 to 30 shots. That we just don't know yet. The only concrete number I have been given was that there were 3 shots, and that was fired by the gunman himself, not the Secret Service. We don't know what they shot here. And just since we've been on the air in the past couple of minutes here, I've been told here, and this is from the Washington D.C. police, the Metropolitan Police. They are saying the Secret Service is working an incident in the intersection of 17th and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest. Please avoid the area. So that's all we know right now. But again, the only concrete number, and this will probably change. Once they figure out, okay, what caliber of weapon he had, how many shots, was he capable of getting off? Did he actually get that many off? Sometimes they'll actually find the casings or whatever it is. This is what happens in the investigation. But that was a distinct number they gave me of 3 shots that were fired by
My boy said 20 shots.
but we don't know how much
Man.
fire was returned by the Secret Service.
Chad,
That ain't
I
no.
think one of the things we're going to.
Hey, that ain't no Secret Service if he got that many shots out. But if they had to even fire that many shots, that ain't no damn Secret Service. That's some. That's some. Hey, it definitely ain't no secret. We're gonna go to this other one. This other shit right here. That's crazy, man. These boys trying to. They trying to. They trying to get Trump up out of here, man. A shit show.
End the war. We know that our reporters there who are outside where they do their live shots, where they come to you from the North Lawn there, heard what they described as dozens of gunshots just a short time
You see?
ago. And now we're being told by a law enforcement official that 2 people were shot and wounded in an encounter with Secret Service near the White House. Our John Miller reporting one person had what was described as a revolver and was shooting that. That's when the Secret Service first began to engage. We do have John Miller here with us, along with Chief Charles Ramsey and Juliet Kayyem. John, I do want to go to you because you can get more into what reporting you have and really set the scene for everyone as we're looking live at Washington, D.C. right now.
Well, we are told that an individual with a revolver was firing that revolver not far outside the White House fence, not far from the White House grounds. Secret Service
Crazy.
Uniform Division responded to that shots fired incident, engaged the individual, and multiple Secret Service officers returned fire. Now, Now, there's a lot we don't know. We don't know why this person was shooting. We don't know what this person was shooting at, or if the person was just shooting. We know a second individual was shot, other than the person with the gun, but we don't know if that individual was shot in the crossfire accidentally, or whether that individual was shot by the original gunman as a targeted person. That's where the picture is very much not clear. What we do know is that when Secret Service encountered the individual with the gun, they opened fire, and he was neutralized at that point, suffering from gunshot wounds. Both of them, I believe, were removed to the hospital. You see a crime scene set up there, and you see many of those orange cones spread around where the shooting took place. That's an area that they blocked off to preserve that evidence, to leave everything where it was at the time the shooting ended. Many of those orange cones likely are marking or covering up shell casings that were expended by the firing officers. And they have, I am told, custody of that weapon that the individual was firing. So at this point, the questions that are still in the air, aside from who was it that shot the second individual, is what was the motive? Was there a motive? Did you have an individual firing a gun, basically wildly waiting for police to respond? That could be one scenario. Did you have an individual firing at the White House? That could be another scenario. Did you have an individual firing at someone else? That could be a third scenario. Still not clear. But when you do put the context to this, you had the White House Correspondents Association dinner shooting. We all know about that. Cole Allen charging through the security checkpoint, confronted by Secret Service he had a shotgun, a 38 semi-automatic pistol.
What he was gonna do with that and some knives?
Allegedly get to the president or anybody in the administration one floor below at that dinner. And then a few days later, you have, I believe it's about 10 days later, you have an individual from Midland, Texas, who was spotted with a gun near the White House as the vice president's motorcade was passing. Uniform Division confronted him. He opened fire. We are told that that individual, the gunman from Texas, was saying in the ambulance, according to the charging documents, "Kill me, kill me, kill me," and F the White House. So, you have what it sounds like an unhinged person there. If you go back to today's situation with an individual firing a gun numerous times, so we are told, outside the White House, both of those incidents could have some similarity in that if he wasn't shooting at someone or at something, the entire incident could be another one of these incidents that appears to be what they refer to as suicide by cop. In other words, taking the kind of actions that will draw law enforcement and inevitably put them in a position where they have to use deadly physical force. But again, these are all just the possibilities that are out there on the table. As the FBI develops their investigation on the criminal side, as the Secret Service develops their protective intelligence information, who was this person? Why was he there? Where did he come from? They'll do everything from getting into computers to phones to everything else.
Real spill.
What brought that
Dog, he had a freaking 38, bro.
to that location today, and what caused the
I don't know what he thought he was finna conquer with that, my brother.
Really helpful new details.
I don't know what he thought he was finna conquer with that. We gotta give him a come on, dog, for that.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Why he didn't get the AOR? Why he didn't go grab the AOR like everybody else is, man?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Journalist Nick Leinbach is going to zoom past me and show you what we've been able to observe on the ground there. Now, there's a combination of law enforcement agencies responding to the scene here. You've got uniformed Secret Service.
He was trying to make them folks take him out, definitely.
Now, when Nick goes down to that intersection there, that is the corner of 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue. That is where we believe the shooting occurred. there is kind of a clump of equipment and clothing, and we believe some surgical style gloves that are on the ground there that we've observed when Nick is able to really train his camera in tight on that scene. You've got what could be maybe a defibrillator on the right hand side of your shot there. We see some surgical gloves on the ground, or what we think are surgical gloves. I mean, from this distance, that's what it appears to be. And some either bandages or maybe clothing that appear maybe to have some blood on them there in the middle of the street. Again, this is what we can observe from where we're standing and from what Nick is able to shoot here as far as just how close his camera is able to get there. But you see, obviously, a very heavy law enforcement response there. And as is typical in a situation like this, unfortunately, we've covered many of these types of incidents in the last few months down here near the White House, including that horrible shooting of the National Guardsman a few blocks from here back in November. When this kind of thing occurs, multiple streets are shut down, pardon me, around the perimeter of the White House, and that has in fact occurred this evening. In getting here, I mean, luckily, I guess, for the rest of us trying to get here and cover this, the traffic around downtown is not very heavy right now because it's bad weather. It's a Saturday evening, and the traffic is not too bad. So you don't have gridlock down here, but you do
Elwood,
have streets that are
salute,
shut down
salute.
about a block, at least a block each way from the White
Happy
House. Now,
Memorial Day to all y'all,
that's
man.
setting the scene for you. And again, what we can tell you, according to one law enforcement official telling CNN, two people were shot and wounded in an encounter with Secret Service Uniformed Division Police, right where you're looking right there, right at the corner of 17th Street Northwest and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest. Officers of the Secret Service Uniformed Division responded to a report of shots fired. And as we've been reporting, several journalists were inside the White House complex and had to take cover there, we believe, in and around the White House press room. I did hear on my way here that the lockdown at the White House has since been lifted.
Mm.
So that's what we can tell you at this time. As far as we know, no one inside the White House complex has been injured, but you've got the two people shot and wounded at the scene that you're looking at right there. Jessica.
All right, Brian Todd there, alive outside the White House for us. Thank you so much. Let's go back to John Miller for a second, John, because as Brian was talking, I just wanted to underscore again. I think it's a Saturday night. People are getting alerts. They're tuning in right now to get the very latest.
Man, listen, dog. I'm saying like they was talking about that they heard like 20 some shots. Bro, don't y'all realize out there, bro, we just seeing this, bro. Don't y'all realize the people got peoples in the trees? The people got people on top of buildings yards away, hundreds of yards away. Bro, like, what did he think he was about to do? I'm just trying to figure this out, dog. Like, this is weird. Like, what was he gonna do? So again, like again for the second time, what was they gonna do though? Like, man, come on, man,
Across the street.
this shit's stupid.
It appears he may have been crossing the street towards one of the security checkpoints when we are told, and again, this is
It's crazy, dog. It's weird.
We're told he reached into a bag, and we've seen a bag when we look at those crime scene photos, like a messenger bag. He reached into a bag, pulled out the gun, and opened fire in the direction of this security checkpoint staffed by Secret
Why
Service
though?
officers who responded immediately and returned fire. And that is what we are given as an update as to what they're putting together based on interviewing the people, looking at the videos, and so on. So that is a little more detail than we had before. And just the fact that he has now been identified by law enforcement. They know who he is. He's apparently 21 years old.
Okay, yeah, and that is, you're right, a bit more detailed than we had obviously previously had. Okay, stand by. We will check back in with you. I want to go back to Chief Charles Ramsey, who is standing by as well. Chief Ramsey, we're getting that new information that John Miller just laid out.
He say that cameraman some bullshit. He can zoom in closer than that. Man, I'm telling you, dog, believe it or not.
Also learning
Believe it or not, that cameraman Elwood is probably far than the motherfucker away, bro. Believe it or not, bro. They ain't gonna let you get close to that shit now. They don't even want no press. You don't see no other cameras around that bitch. Them people probably far away like a motherfucker. That camera just so good it's got it sitting up like he right there. Man, them people not letting nobody go near that bitch right
You
now.
still have remaining.
Well, I mean, at the very least, now you have assault on a federal officer. If he's walking across the street, starts firing at the Secret Service officers in the at the checkpoint. We don't know what his intent was yet, but they have identified him at least tentatively. That means now they're in the process of, where does he live? Does he have a car? What's his social media footprint look like? They can get any kind of information from that, cell phone, whatever, to try to find out exactly more about this individual and what his motive might be, what his intent might be. So they're making progress. They're making pretty good progress pretty quickly, it looks like. Right now, the FBI and the Secret Service, I mean, listen, they're going to do whatever they have to do in order to really get to the bottom of it. But right now, it's in the investigative stage right now. The threat has been reduced. We don't know the condition of this individual, so we don't know if they've had a chance to speak with him. He may have had ID on him. There may be somebody who was there with him who knew who he was and provided a name. There's still a lot of things we don't know, but it seems like they're starting to kind of zero in on this particular case.
Yeah. Okay, stand by. We also have Juliet Kayam, who is here with us. Juliet, again, going back to this information, John Miller was just saying this appears to be a 21-year-old who has been identified to
21.
law enforcement,
Man,
who was walking.
this nigga 21. The first nigga was an engineer slash teacher. And he trying to assassinate the president, turn it to assassin. Educated, going to school to teach our kids to be educated, and he's allegedly going to transform into an assassin. I guess.
They returned the fire.
It's
We
crisis
also know, again, from
actors.
our colleague Evan Perez, that the two people shot, which some reports are that suspect and a bystander are the two people, that they are both in critical condition now, which, Juliet, is interesting. If this suspect is alive, is in critical condition, obviously we don't know what exactly that means, but law enforcement ostensibly might be able to talk to that person at some point. But we are sure.
Yeah, y'all can pray to get him protected. Salute, Donald.
That's exactly right.
Illy.
We don't know what condition he's
Didn't
in.
they just try that? Man,
Speak to the
listen.
lawyer, at this stage, but
They going
obviously,
after that
who he
man,
is,
dog.
and so just sort of
That's his
unworking
own
that
people trying to
procedure, we don't know
backdoor him. I
who he
told
is,
y'all
where
that,
he
Illy. I
lives,
be telling y'all
what
this
he's been
every week.
obtaining, what his friends.
I tell y'all this every week, Illy. That nigga is getting backdoored by his own people. And the only reason they doing this to him is because they too scared to tell him he wrong. They too scared to tell him he messing up and he wrong. So they rather take him out like this. But they don't understand he's already ill. He's already ill, right? But he ain't gonna make it till this time next year, dog. Watch. Just watch.
Towards the White House,
Just watch.
towards federal law enforcement, that was then stopped or deterred by federal law enforcement. This is a person who did not plan on stopping the shooting and had to be shot to be stopped.
Yeah, already, bro. Watch. He ain't gonna make it. You can't keep getting shot at like that, nigga. You ain't no young hood street dude.
3 times. We don't know exactly what this was, but this is his home, and it was public that it was his home. It also was public that this was a working weekend, regarding the other big story of today, which is, of course, whether there is an agreement regarding the Iran war. So people are. High officials are coming in and out, and they are accessible.
Man, I'm telling you, watch, bro.
The streets of DC. So I don't.
They saying in the chat they don't care. You see the trolls saying that they don't care, boy. If Peter got close to him, they'd have killed. They'd have been on here whining and crying like they was when Charlie Kirk went down, crying and whining and snot bubbles and all that old bullshit.
Because of the environment that we live in right now.
We do, yeah. When you put all of it together, that certainly This is a scenario we have found ourselves in again and again in terms of just the political violence we've seen. Again, we don't know at this moment exactly what this is. To your point, we have to wait and learn more. But we're just beginning to get some of these details. Let's go back to John Miller now. John, we are getting this report too from Evan Perez, our colleague, that one of the people, of the two people shot, one was the suspect, the other a bystander. You've obviously spent a lot of time in DC as well. That can be a very busy area. As people have noted, it's raining today. It is a weekend. It is downtown DC, so perhaps, thankfully, it wasn't that crowded. But nonetheless, if they were exchanging gunfire in that area, it makes sense that there could be bystanders around.
Well, it does. And, these are things that, as Jonathan Wackrow told us some time ago, they happened in, a split second. The decision time is within milliseconds. And when an individual approaches that facility firing a gun, the Secret Service is going to fire back. Now, we don't know who the bystander was struck by.
Hey, then not to mention the last time they fired back when old boy went in there with the shotgun, they missed. So you telling me y'all had 1,000 some people up in there or something, or whatever what number it was, and you got the Secret Service there, they catch them with trying to bogart the shit with the gun. The first person that shot at him missed. So you put other people on the line, nigga, behind it. I'm telling you, it's dangerous just to go to dinner and watch Trump. Y'all, it's dangerous. Y'all can go spend y'all money trying to go see that man, man. Just make sure you get you a bulletproof vest.
And it didn't turn out worse, meaning that other people weren't shot, that Secret Service agents weren't shot or wounded, is actually probably pretty lucky. I am told.
Feel like Trump a rapper or something now. You know how
and breathing at the time.
you know how rappers concerts get shot up and stuff. This like Trump. This like the Trump rallies getting. Hey, we got yellow tape. Yellow tape, man. Like this ain't no goddamn concert. This the shit you see in Chicago and Chirac and Cali and H-Town, man. Come on, man, y'all. Come on, man.
There is U.S. Secret Service police in their you see FBI officials behind them. They'll be investigating this jointly. You see a lot of these little orange cones here while you've got a crime scene photographer documenting.
For real, Kobe.
So you see the medical.
Nigga, this shit shot up like a concert, nigga. For real.
The screen that was used to treat the perpetrator and the bystander possibly on the scene.
You know what I'm talking about. This shit shot up. This shit got yellow tape on it, nigga, like after the NBA Youngboy concert or Lil Durk or something. Like, I don't know what's going on out there.
We do have some new video we want to share with everybody, where I'm told you can hear some of the gunshots. So let's play that video. And John will talk on the other side of it. Let's play this new video we have.
Nobody ain't got the shots on film. I want to hear the shots. Why they got all them goddamn tents up and shit? This shit like some Call of Duty type shit.
Okay, I do, if we can, in the control room, I'd like to play this video from the top again because you can hear the gunshots. They come really fast at the beginning. So I'm going to give them a second to kind of re-rack that and let you listen again. You see, this is the immediate aftermath as everyone's going inside. Okay, let's listen again. You'll hear the gunshots right at the beginning. Here's the top of that video. And then it moves pretty quickly. John Miller.
That was like one shot. Why they say they heard 20 shots, y'all? These motherfuckers be lying, dawg.
Multiple gunshots, and then obviously you see the reaction of law enforcement and others who were standing nearby.
Right, and it just gives us an idea through audio as to how quickly this incident unfolded with an individual allegedly opening fire and then Secret Service returning that fire. And, you know, what people who were on the scene, our own reporters described as what sounded like dozens of shots. Now, that individual who opened fire, if in fact what he had was a revolver, would probably have 6 rounds that he may have fired at police if it was a revolver. If the Secret Service agents from the Uniform Division who manned that security post returned fire, if one or more of them fired, typically their guns would have somewhere between 13 and 15 rounds, depending on the weapon and how it was loaded. So if 2 or more of them fired at once, it's not the kind of thing where you'd be able to choreograph it ahead of time and select a designated shooter. That would probably be what people describe as hearing dozens of rounds.
Right, right. Okay, John, stay with us. I want to go back to Chief Charles Ramsey, who's also with us. And Chief Ramsey, as we were talking about just a little bit ago, we're obviously looking at this new video.
We're gonna go to something else. Then I'm gonna get up out of here.
Business loans are better understanding what I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you what happened, the context, and what happens next. Let's go. First of all, yes, there was a man went on to the White House grounds with a gun and just didn't have the gun, just started shooting. Now, ain't going to take long for you to die from that. You know, unless you're running through the White House press secretary conference, then you're not going to get shot. But if you're going to the White House, obviously you're going to get shot. So got shot dead. They confirmed he was dead. They confirmed he was hit. And this really makes incident roughly 5. There were 2
5 times.
you know, incidents. The infamous one that happened, very first one that happened with him and his fist bump. The second one was a guy who was hiding behind the golf course that the Secret Service saw and shot. And then there was the incident where a guy just came on to Mar-a-Lago with a gun and they shot that person. And then the infamous White House press secretary thing where my man did OJ meets Walter Payton and Emmett Smith and ran through everybody and miraculously didn't get hit. And we
5 times, just 5 times.
This time, this happened.
Shit happened 5 times.
What happened? I'm gonna tell you the context of what I just said. I'm so glad Donald Trump's okay, and I'm gonna talk about the third part, what happens next. So here we go. Here's why I'm very glad that Donald Trump's okay. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we don't want to make this man a martyr. We just don't. It doesn't go away, and making him a martyr empowers J.D. Vance. And quite frankly, I don't want to see violence on anybody in general. I'm not for violence. I wasn't for violence on Charlie Kirk. I wasn't for violence on anybody else. I'm just not for that. And hopefully you're good people. You don't want that happening. Obviously, you don't want that happening on people. But, you know, here's the thing. I really don't want this to happen, anything to happen to this man, because it does nothing but hurt our cause. It just gets people mad at the base, from the base of MAGA, to show up in November. And we don't want them mad. We don't want them at that level. He's trying to get them mad right now. You know why? Over that 1.8 billion. He's trying to get them mad over that because he knows he can't give them that 1.8 billion. He's going to flip that around and say, I couldn't give you that 1.8 billion because the libtards are blocking us and stopping us. And we have to vote.
Yes.
If we don't vote, not only will the libtards continue to do that, but they'll also come out and impeach me and impeach the whole cabinet, and everything will go wrong. That's what he wants to position it for. He wants outrage from the right that they didn't get the 1.8 billion. Because this was Trump does. Go put in the comments. Put this in the comments. LMP. LMP. Remember that. LMP. I always give you acronyms to remember. LMP. What is LMP? That stands for lies. That's what he instantly does. Misdirection, He is, hocus pocus, Barnum and Bailey. He wants you looking at here, and I'll tell you what he doesn't want you looking at in a minute. And then the P stands for projecting authority he doesn't have. Projecting, listen to what I'm saying. He doesn't have. He doesn't have the authority to put together 1.8 billion. So of course he wants people to think I did this, and now they stop me and get to the polls and vote. So that brings it back to the shooting. If that man had gotten killed, Trump had gotten killed, how stirred up do you think tens of millions of MAGA people who are left, how these backwater sons of bitches, how stirred up with them and their wives, sisters, wives, been stirred up that y'all had heard Trump. God bless Trump. Do you really want these people stirred up? I don't. I want to give as many seats as we can get in the House of Representatives and in the Senate to get the majority, to have the 120th Congress come in after the vote on November. I talked about subcommittees for hearings coming after people. We going after, but what is the aggressive agenda? And the main agenda we need to do is stop the big beautiful law bullshit, which is gutting our health care and giving these billionaires tax breaks. Fuck them forever. Okay? We need to go in there. If we still have a war with Iran, shut down his war powers and shut him down. Mike Johnson was so afraid that the vote was going to go against him, against limiting Trump's war powers. He basically went to recess and shut it down. You understand? It's real. Congress is bucking back. They're bucking back. They're flipping on him. They are flipping on his ass. So to have this man get shot would be horrible. Horrible. You don't want that, because we don't need martyrs. Remember how you felt when they tried to shoot at Trump the first time and he was bleeding? They tried to get him. And the first thing hit our minds, I know it hit yours, was, oh shit, we just lost the election. We just lost this bitch because this guy came in and da-da-da-da-da. And it spurred them up, and they're going to show up in the polls mad than a motherfucker. Shit. But it died down. Even though Elon and him were able to steal the you-know-what, because you can't say that on a channel, social media, where they've given tens of millions of dollars to this something, so you can't say it openly, but they stole the you-know-what. But get in my group, link in the description on the homepage, in the description of this video, and on the homepage of my YouTube video. So go to Darren Monroe. You know how you go to a homepage on YouTube? Go over there, click the button, sign up. It's free. I've made it free. There's no excuse. Each and every one of you watching this, don't get in that private group and we start having real private conversations about it. But let me tell you what that really means, because I'm going to have a bonus video in the back that I'm creating for that group, the Clarity Group. I'm going to create a bonus video talking about this a little more in depth to understand. The whole idea behind this is that there are people, and that's the whole idea I want you to understand in this concept, in this context, We know what happened. The context is we don't want him hurt because it creates a martyr, because they're already trying to get him, and they're creating martyrs out there. And we don't want that happening. But I also want you to think how deep shit is that somebody's willing to come on campus and just straight up start shooting like that. That is some bold shit. Here's the other part of this context I want you to understand very clearly, that if that had happened, or even if he had been hurt, it would have been enough to spur MAGA whoosh to show up in those polls. We don't need that, baby. We don't need that. We want him alive. Plus, as human beings, want him alive. Here's the other reason. Let me give you the other context so you can understand. Put in the comments, bleed out. We want him bleeding out. Because the more he talks, the more he's alive. He bleeds out the administration, and he bleeds out the GOP party. And I'm saying fuck the GOP party forever. They're trying to kill us. Don't believe me? Ask Alex Peretti and Renee Nicole Good's families. Ask the service members' families who died over in the Middle East. And ask the detainees who died in custody, from the families of babies, the families of elderly, and detainees right now. Ask them. Ask them. Do you think they're trying to kill us? Fuck yeah, they're trying to kill us. Fuck the GOP forever. So as long as he's alive, because he keeps putting out Obama monkey pictures, and he keeps putting out all this crazy shit that he's gonna do, it does nothing but absolutely make it worse for them. Now there's one more thing I need you to put in the comments. I said LMP, remember that? Stands for lies, manipulation, and projecting authority he doesn't have. LMPs, right? The other one that you've seen very popularly if you've been in this channel is ESGN. Epstein, subsidies, Epstein, subsidies, gerrymandering, no kings, no ice. What does that mean? That means we need to still be on that Epstein list. Come on, man. It's still out there. The last big thing that happened is all the survivors signed a sheet saying that Todd Blanche is a lying motherfucker under oath because he did not talk to them. The subsidies are still fighting the ACA benefits, the Obamacare. They're still fucking with people over that. If they don't have their subsidies, it's been estimated every year they don't have those subsidies, 50,000 people die. And then because he wants to replace that with Trump RX, which really is disappointing. And what got me was Mark Cuban supported Trump RX, who was a supporter and campaigner for Kamala.
He definitely did that for Malcolm. He didn't do nothing for us. That's why I don't trust none of them.
Prescription drug company. No, fuck Trump RX. You know they're gonna be some cheap, fucked up shit that they're gonna do. Okay. Here's the other thing. There's gerrymandering. We're still at that. And the gerrymandering they're trying to do because of the Voting Rights Act ruling from the Supreme Court ain't gonna be enough to give him a vote in November. But if he had gotten shot, that would have been a totally different game, y'all. That would have been a totally different flip on the narrative. Thank God he's okay. Hey. And let him bleed out. Put hashtag bleed out. LMP. Lies, manipulation, and projecting authority he doesn't have. And the end part of that is no kings, no ice. If we're focusing on no kings, if we're focusing on no ice, we got this. The idea is that Epstein, subsidies, gerrymandering, no kings, no ice is the focus. And of course, one stretch to that is Iran. If we can just stretch onto that and focus, we're going to do well. Don't get wrapped up into what he says about the Strait of Hormuz and all this other bullshit. Whenever you hear something that starts with the line, Trump says he's going to, you know, LMP, he's lying, misdirecting, manipulator, okay? And projecting authority he doesn't have. And what we want to do is realize no matter how many times they try to get him, just say, we don't want that happen. We ain't calling for that smoke, baby. The more he's alive, the worse he is. It's like Hitler. Remember when Hitler, some of you remember, historians, remember when Britain and the Allies were trying to kill Hitler and they realized it was a lot easier than they thought, but then they stopped. Why'd they stop? Because Hitler is a horrible commander and he was helping them. He was helping the Allies win the war. He was losing. If the generals had been left
for the lowest $200 Australia, same thing is $750. Hey, that shit, man, I don't trust none of that. That's why that's why he keeps saying that they're trying to unalive us. They're trying to unalive us because of that. They can't figure out the healthcare. We ain't healthy. You know what's gonna happen if you ain't healthy.
Decisions that Hitler made that made it worse for them. Made it worse for Germany and better for the Allies. Basically, Hitler was bleeding them out. Same thing with Trump, bleeding them out. That's why thank God he's okay.
They all messed it up. All of them. They messed it up trying to clean it up.
Democratic.
It's all messed up right now.
I sure as hell don't want to kill him because I don't need.
You see, he don't.
In November.
You see, he don't want. We don't want him unalive. Who want him unalive is them people that's sitting next to him. It's got to be them because We want you sitting right there, brother, cause that's gonna cause uh, too much uproar.
Focus on
We
the
don't need
prize. Do
that.
not let this clown shit
Let him
dictate
stay
the market
alive. We
or
want
what
him
we're
to
doing. And
live
that
to
is
be
our ability
200.
to not just defeat Trump, not just defeat the
It's not in
administration,
the White
but
House.
to defeat the fucking Republican great old grand old pussy party and beat their ass because they are trying to kill us. And you don't believe me again. Ask our service members' families. Ask our detainees' families who lost lives from babies to elderly. Ask Renee Nicole Good's family. Ask Keith Porter's family. Ask Alex Peretti's family.
That's Alex
They
Peretti.
are trying to target and wipe us the fuck out. White, black, green, purple.
It don't
That
matter
is
what
why we
color
vote
it
these
is. It's
motherfuckers
nothing
out the
about
door.
race. It's
Because you're
just poor
actually
and
of their
rich.
errors. Think about what they're trying to do right now. That's why I thought it was funny to me. Because they weren't going to get away with it. Like I said earlier, Donald Trump with that 1.8 billion, he's trying to manipulate and make it look like he's trying to help the deeply racist white people, his deep MAGA base, so they show up in the polls. But he knows he's not going to get away with it
He
because
ain't.
Democracy Forward, who wins by 95%, along with other people like the
Exactly.
Capitol Police and others coming up, are getting ready to sue the shit out of him, already
Mm-hmm.
suing the shit out of him, and they're not going to get that shit done. It's not going to happen.
It's
But
just
I
not.
want you to think about what he's saying when he says, I'm going to give $1.8 million to a bunch of, let me put it to you like this. At 1.8 billion of that, he's trying to take from the $700 million funding that Obama put together to
Seven
fight
hundred
racism.
million
So he's
dollars.
trying to take $700 million to fight racism to give to
I
racists.
told y'all.
And
I told y'all. You know who he's trying to get these funds to? This $1.5 billion. He's trying to those people who ran into the Senate, that ran into the Capitol. Those people who went fed for doing that shit. Those same people that got pardoned. They had zip ties and all that stuff. Like they were gonna do some kidnapping, some strange things. They got a whole pardon, and now he wants to make the millionaires all at the same time. I guess.
all the time,
I guess. And then on top of it, take funds $700 million out of some funds that Obama put to the side for racism. It don't matter what color you is. Chinese people be discriminated against. All races be discriminated against. White, how you? Yeah, okay.
and you
All
think,
right.
oh, wait a minute, you got
All
1.8
right.
billion, huh? Because they've been swearing they don't have nothing for the
Nah,
white people
I
for
don't
reparations
support neither
because
one
of
of them.
our forefathers'
Neither.
ancestors.
Listen, I told y'all, dog. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I just point out the bullshit when it's bullshit. You know that's bullshit, and I don't even get loud about it. These type of when I see shit like this, I already read the story about this. Now it you got to show me how it makes sense. Just make it make sense to me. I read well. I know where this money is coming from. You want us to give it to you? Then he said he gonna give it to some type of man. I'm like, bro, you're not man. I told y'all with all this money on the board that they're saving, these people finna start stealing and taking. Like the tariffs and shit, they finna start taking. That nigga Trump said, give the money back to Walmart. Give it back to the people that they just charged the fuck out of. So we paid all this money for tariffs. Now you need to see that gas thing. What they say? Hold on, real fast. Hold on, dog. Let me see if I got it. Boy, man, the gas thing. How much money we spent on gas since it went up, bro? Let me see if I got it. I hope I got it. Nah, I don't think I got it. Nah, I don't got it, bro. The gas prices is crazy, nigga. We done paid, boy, we done made them so much money, and he gonna give it back to the people that we spent it with. I thought you said you was gonna give us a check, Trump. You told us, that's what you told us, bro. You said you was gonna give us a check, fool. That's what you told us, dog. Why you lie to me like that, dog? Why you lie to me like that, dog? Then you act like you don't know what's going on. You gave the money back to Walmart and Target and Albertsons. You gave that shit right back to them. Y'all don't feel some type of way about that? Y'all don't feel no type. Y'all don't feel nothing. Man, y'all gotta come on, dog. Y'all gotta come on, man. Don't think that I'm just being an asshole. I'm not on none of these people's side. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Hey, man, I told y'all once all that money is on the board, they were gonna start. They were gonna start selling. Look at this right here. See this right here? This is a thumbnail I rent the story on. I think like maybe a month ago. Look at the thumbnail. What it said. Let me move this chat out the way. It say get your 166 billion back. Only people who getting that shit back is them big ass businesses, bro. We ain't. They don't even know how they gonna give it back to you yet. They don't even know how they gonna give it back to you yet. So how they gonna give it back to you? Man, y'all people crazy, man. How you gonna make a rule for something and then you don't even got the guidelines and all the shit situated? So you just gonna have $166 billion just sitting in the out. It's more than that now. That was a month ago. Boy, we made that little 166 billion so quick. Nigga just sitting in the hole. Just sitting in the hole for somebody to just go in there and stick their hands in it and get rich off of it when we ain't got the money back yet. How y'all feel about that, Trump supporters? MAGA? How y'all feel about that, dog? That shit don't make y'all feel some type of way? He say Trump is not even taking a pay. What the fuck? Listen, I have $1 billion, nigga. What the fuck do I need with your popcorn, your little popcorn pennies that y'all trying to give me? I have $1 billion, fool. He also don't sleep in the White House either. Yeah, he don't take a paycheck and he don't sleep in the White House either. So, you know, he's rich, rich, bro. You think I give a damn about sleeping in y'all house, nigga? I'm a billionaire. I got a whole motel room, nigga, that's 100 and some floors, 200 floors. Like, nigga, he ain't tripping on no. That ain't shit to him, dog. Like, he do not sleep in the White House, dog. He's rich, rich, y'all guys. He's not no dog. This is not no peasant, my nigga. This is not no Obama. This is not no This is not no Biden. This is not no Kamala. These them people don't got no $1 billion. Man, that nigga got judges in his pocket and everything. He gonna always be unscathed. Always. You know, he gonna always be unscathed. Always, dog. That's why the president shouldn't be a billionaire. The president should be a leader of your community, fool. Should be your neighbor, somebody you stay, you know. Well, that's President Clinton. He used to stay right here. Now he the president in Washington. Not, uh, yeah, that's Donald Trump. He was a billionaire off the stock market. He always had money our whole life. He don't need no lenders. He don't need nobody to do shit for him. When he run for president, people don't even, they like, oh, I'm stupid, I'm stupid. You know why a lot of presidents fall off? I mean, when they running, why they just fall out of the race? Because it doesn't look like they gonna win first off, and the lenders that are lending them the money be like, hell nah, nigga, we ain't spending no more money if we ain't gonna win. We ain't helping you spend no more. We ain't giving you no money to run your campaign if you ain't gonna win. So they fall out, so they drop off. He never gonna run out of money. Never. He ain't gonna never run out of money. I don't gotta go to no lenders. I don't gotta go. All I do is go to my own goddamn bank. The IRS, they work for me. I'm trying to lend 1 point some billion dollars from them right now. hey, hey, that's power. Like that's power, y'all. That's power. Y'all could I just laugh it out because it don't make me mad. I'm just telling you what I saw and what I read. You can take what you want to take out of it. I ain't stupid. I read real well. I know I'm a minority. I know I'm a minority, but I do read very, very, very well and have a very, very understanding about because I always wanted to know where the money gonna come from. So he just gonna say, just take 700 million out of this. Just to what? You just what? How about you take 700 million out of your bank account and give it to them racist folks? Why you won't do it? You already pardoned them. Go give them a bankroll. If that's the case, we all us felons should have a bankroll then. If that's the case. Y'all quit locking our doors on us and give us $1 million. Y'all lock y'all doors on us when y'all see us felons, black felons, but then the white ones, they become millionaires. Them motherfuckers had zip ties, ready to handcuff somebody and do something. We don't, Lord knows what. They get a pardon though, right? While the drug dealers, they're selling drugs, just trying to make a way of living, they be locked up forever. How does that work, guys? Huh? How does that work, guys? You commit felonies and become a millionaire? I know life is good and God is good, but I don't think I don't think that's him right there. I think that's y'all system and it's fucked up. I ain't begging for nothing. I'm telling you to make it even. I'm willing to work for mines. I'm one of them. I'm one of the ones that's willing to bust my ass and go extra for mines. I'm not one of the lazy ones. I do it every day. You get what I'm saying? I'm not one of those. Make it even, fool. Let us put some of them judges in our pockets. That's why y'all don't want us to get educated and shit, so we can start doing shit like that. Get us in the Senate so we can start putting our judges in our back pockets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you wouldn't like it if we did shit like that. I swear to God, y'all wouldn't like it if we did shit like that. Cause Dirk would definitely be free. hey, hey, Lil Durk would be free and a whole bunch of other people. Larry Hoover would definitely be free. Man, Aunt Hefe will definitely be free right now. Nigga, what you mean, nigga? If that's the case, shit. Y'all motherfuckers stormed into the Capitol, nigga, with zip ties trying to kidnap somebody, nigga, in the Senate. And y'all got paid, became millionaires for it. What the fuck? Y'all might as well write them a book or make them a movie or something. Well, they already did that shit already. Proud Boys. That's what they call it. And then they always try to say, well, the leader of a Proud Boy is the mixing black. Bro, don't you realize it's black racist too? Look at Charleston White. It's black racist too. Look at Charleston White. The leader of the people. He's mixed with black. Man, listen. I like all people, nigga. I may like my race a little bit more because it's my skin color. I live in it. But, nigga, I love all people. All races. I want everybody to have an even shot at it, man. That's it. They being racist to each other right now. They're being racist to each other right now, dog. Whites are being racist to whites right now, bro. It's in the Bible, fool. And I don't even go to church like that. Dog, y'all better go read the Bible, fool. It's in the Bible, dog. It said the slaves, it said the masters who enslaved the slaves, it'll be reversed. He said it's gonna come a time where the slave masters be fighting against the slave masters. Hey, that's what it said in the Bible. Basically, I just broke it down into finer, you know, it said basically the slaves gonna be fighting against the slaves, and you ain't gonna even have to do nothing but just sit back and watch. Mm, I don't know. I don't believe in Jesus and shit. I don't believe in none of that. I just believe in God. I pray to God every day. But I was raised in church. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. I used to could name every Bible verse to you. Boy, I used to go to Bible school and everything. I'm 45 now. I ain't been to church in probably, bro, since I was about 17. Like, I just talk to God, tell him to lead me the right direction, and that's it for me, guys. I don't gotta go to. I don't read all them books and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? For real. Make sure you talk to God every day. Make sure you forgive him for your sins. Make sure you pray for your enemies. Make sure you pray for your enemies before you pray for yourself. I do. Pray for the ops, man. Pray for them before you pray for your family, man. You'll be all right. Mm. You say add me to the line so I can cook you, man. Listen, man. That nigga say add me to the live so you can cook me. Man, that shit lame. I'm finna go spend time with my family, my brother. I got family shit I gotta take care of. He say add me to the live so he can cook me. You can't cook me about shit. That's just your opinion. I don't have a side. I'm not with no Tamala. I don't fuck with them rules that she got either. All that shit is some bullshit. How you gonna vote when you confused? You don't know the vote. That don't mean you gotta vote. Y'all choose sides anyway. That's how life is though. People just choose a side. Bitch, I ain't choosing no side. I do what I wanna do. The shit don't look right. Why the fuck would I vote? If it ain't looking right, if I don't agree with these policies and I don't agree with these policies, why I'm still gonna just go in that booth for? We just practicing. That's why we in the situations that we in right now, my brother. hey, hey, your leader should never have a trillion, be a billionaire fool. Hey, the leaders in Africa ain't no billionaires. Africa got the most gold in the whole United States. Hey, the president of Africa, nigga, he got a gun on his hip. He ready to fight. He ain't just talking. Wonder why that is. Why they presidents gotta fight. And our presidents just talk and send people. I wonder why Africa owed them Africa owed America for some taxes. And Trump wrote them a letter that told them to give me 70% of your gold. They major resource, no African poor. After you just took all that oil. After you just took all that oil, man. You thought you was about to go over there and take that gold too. Boy, that would have made us powerful as fuck over here. Guns and butter. Hey, that'd have made us powerful over here. Man, Africa ain't going for that shit, dog. And they ready to fight for it too. But you see what Trump, what did y'all president go? That nigga left them good people the hell alone. I know. He left them good people the hell alone, man. Leave them good people alone, dog. You know? I'm out of here, man. They trolling. My job is done for the day, man. It's definitely done for the day. Y'all had y'all a good Memorial Day, man, for real. Jesus definitely love y'all, man. Y'all have a good Memorial Day, man.
Sometimes I wake up, feel like I'm in Forest City, Arkansas. Although I'm free, I'm still a prisoner of all I saw. Sometimes I leave it moving 4 a.m. and ride down south. You're praying on me.
And reminiscing.
Sometimes my nightmare seems so real, feel like I'm still in prison. I reach out for Tamika and I'm tripping cause she missing. It's pitch black dark, like I'm in solitary. So if my freedom wasn't free, Lord, please prepare me. It seems like Satan want my soul and he refused to share me. My former friend talk about me like I'm getting buried. Bastards want me in the casket for my head called. Trouble in myself, the devil got a hold. Did everything to me, but killed me like he did to Joe. He took my diamonds, took my rhymes, took my fame and gold. He took my business interests and took my wife and kid. But he can't take nothing, God can't give me back again. I went to jail, stood tall, then I fell again. It seems like I'm Jonah and right back in that well again. I felt the panic when they locked me in that cell again. I had to pray and meditate, control my breath again. Like Lazarus, I've risen from a bed of death again. The Lord is with me, I could stand against 1,000 men. I read the Songs of David, pray to be like Solomon. God's wisdom walking all over these hollow men. I'm a king, I dare to lead when they just follow me. I see a better way, I'm keeping my eyes on the sparrow. I'm exiting my Egypt, telling way by the pharaoh. Mother told me before she left this earth that I was special. And because I'm special, they gon' make me suffer. Like they crucified Jesus right in front of his mother. Suckers, he arose on the third day. The Savior here to give faith, but let the church say.